Hello, YouTube and Facebook followers. Do you want to be able to relax on vacation and not worry about losing your fish? Do you want to put in place loss prevention strategies for your aquarium, your fish room, and your home that will significantly reduce the risk of losing your precious equipment, your fish, and even your home? Please follow me on my 5-year journey that enables me to relax on vacation and prevent a disaster in my fish room. Here is my 500-gallon African cichlid aquarium the day after I returned from a 34-day vacation out of the country. We all love our aquariums. For many of us, like myself, we have a major financial, time, and even emotional investment in the hobby. For me personally, I have 5 aquariums with nearly 1,200 gallons of water. I don't even want to add up how much money I have in the hobby out of fear my wife might want to know. We love our fish, and they give us hours of enjoyment. While I was gone, my fish thrived. Even though I was gone those 34 days, there were no water changes, and there was no equipment or electrical failures. I only had to have a member of my family stop by once a week to do a quick check, and every 2 weeks to add water to my automatic top-off system and to add food to my automatic fish feeders. Follow me in learning what I have done to give me the peace of mind and the reduced risk of disaster. Of primary importance while on vacation is to have a responsible friend or family member available for any routine tasks such as adding food to fish feeders, and to be on call should an issue arise with your aquariums. For me, it was my daughter Lindsay's partner Blair, who was an excellent choice. Blair is responsible, someone I trust. He loves animals, he has owned aquariums, and is handy with fish equipment, and perhaps most importantly, was really motivated to help me out. One extremely valuable piece of equipment I use is a remote camera for monitoring my aquariums 24 hours a day, 7 days a week while gone, and from anywhere in the world. I was 3,000 miles away on vacation, and some days, and this may sound obsessive, I checked on my fish 3 or 4 times a day. In real time, I could verify that the equipment was running, that there was filtration and lighting in my aquariums. This daily check included the ability to pan the camera across my fish room and to hear anything out of the ordinary, like an alarm sounding to indicate there was water on the floor. So I have this camera at the top of my list, and it will cost you about $75. The next item is what is called a home freeze alarm call system. The system is connected to your phone landline and monitors the temperature in your fish room, the power, and with a moisture sensor, it measures if there is any water on your floor. Preset conditions are programmed in for temperature, as well as phone numbers of who should be called should there be a power failure, temperature outside of the preset conditions, or water detected where the water sensor is placed. It calls within the first 5 minutes so that you can send someone over to check out the situation if you're out of town or out shopping. The freeze alarm call-out system will cost you about $250. The next very important resource is automatic fish feeders, so that you can feed your fish daily in precise quantities and not have to worry about your fish starving or being overfed while you are gone. In fact, I use these feeders even when I am in town. I've been using both the Super Feeder and the Eheim brand fish feeders for at least 5 years and have never had a malfunction. They are very reliable, and you can control precisely how much you are feeding your fish. I use a Super Feeder for my large tanks, and the hopper holds about 3 to 4 weeks worth of food for my heavily populated 500-gallon aquarium. The Eheim is about $25, and the Super Feeder will set you back about $125. I cannot say enough about the value of the next resource, the inexpensive water alarm. I have 5 of these units strategically placed in my fish room, for example, near sumps and filters, to detect any leakage and to sound a very loud alarm. The water sensor is placed on the floor or in the carpet, wherever you might anticipate moisture or water leaks. Believe me, these have saved me from some major water disasters. These water alarms cost only about $10 each. The next item, a GFI outlet, is a device that I have a special appreciation for since it saved my 200-gallon aquarium while on vacation over Christmas last year. I have my heaters plugged into GFI outlets so that in the event a heater draws too much current, it will trip the GFI rather than the breaker for the electric line that supplies overall power to my aquarium. On the vacation trip I mentioned, I had a heater fail, it tripped the GFI, and the rest of my equipment, and in particular the filtration system, all continued to work till I returned home. Heaters are the most frequent source of equipment failure and kicking off an electric breaker, hence the importance of GFIs in preventing an aquarium failure. Since aquarium heaters are so prone to failure and so potentially catastrophic to your fish and property, I also employ a heater controller. Programmed to a preset maximum temperature, the controller will shut off your heater should the heater get stuck in an on cycle, thus avoiding your fish from getting too hot or worse. A heater controller will cost you about $35. The next item is a failed circuit alarm. Although this may seem redundant with other alarms I have in place, this is an extremely loud alarm for when I am home and there is a power failure in my fish room or a breaker kicks out. With this alarm in place, I do not have to wait on the call-out alarm to call my phone number to respond and address the problem. A failed circuit alarm costs $42. To minimize the frequency and need for adding water to my aquariums while on vacation, especially since I have large sumps, I have an automatic top-off system, or ATO. With this system, no water has to be added to my aquariums for at least a couple weeks. The particular design for the system that I use, with a reservoir and a float valve, costs about $40. You might ask, what about water changes, especially for a heavily stocked 500-gallon African cichlid predator tank? This is where my aquaponic grow bed plays a very important role. When I left for vacation, my nitrates were about 20 parts per million, and after 5 weeks, the nitrates rose to only about 40 parts per million. Right now, and after a water change, my nitrates are back at about 15 parts per million. There'll be more to follow on the success of this grow bed and keeping down nitrates in future videos. A few Closing thoughts. Taken collectively as a group, the cost and complexity of the systems I have covered in this video are obviously designed for an advanced aquarist. The design is to offer protection to an aquarist who has a major investment in their fish room. For those of you who find this list overwhelming, when you break it apart, there are quite a few simple and inexpensive options in what I covered that can and will reduce your risk of a catastrophic failure and help you sleep better when you're on vacation or out of town. I hope you found this helpful and can adapt at least a couple of these options to your aquarium hobby.